Ebubeagu security, also known as Udogachi security, went to look for Biafran Liberation Army in Uli, Anambra State, and engaged them in a brutal gun battle. The Ebubeagu Uli commander, alongside security operatives, engaged in a confrontation with the Biafran Liberation Army in Uli, Anambra State, claiming to be searching for separatists. Meanwhile, some critics have questioned why security forces focus on suppressing Biafran agitators instead of addressing the menace of armed Fulani herdsmen responsible for attacks and killings. Recent violence in Uromi, Edo State, involving Fulani residents has sparked outrage, with locals taking justice into their own hands in response to previous attacks on their farmlands. The critic condemns mob justice, but acknowledges that people feel abandoned by the government, leading to violent retaliation. Farmers lament losing their crops to destruction by Fulani herdsmen, with no intervention from the government, worsening economic and food security issues. The escalating conflict between locals and Fulani groups is framed as a brewing religious war that could destabilize Nigeria. The critic references the re-declaration of Biafra on November 29, 2024, emphasizing that the movement is determined to continue fighting for independence. The Nigerian government is accused of paying people to sabotage the Biafran movement and suppress their struggle through propaganda and violence. The critic condemns President Bola Tinubu's administration, alleging corruption, violence, and unconstitutional actions, including his alleged involvement in the Rivers State political crisis. The recent events unfolding in Nigeria have captured the attention of many, as clashes between the Biafran Liberation Army and Ebubeagu security operatives in Uli, Anambra State, have raised significant concerns about the direction in which the country is headed. In Uli, Ebubeagu security, which is also known by the name Udogachi security, embarked on a mission to locate and confront the Biafran Liberation Army. This operation quickly escalated into a brutal gun battle in the Uli forest, with the Ebubeagu Uli commander leading the security operatives in an effort to neutralize what they described as separatist elements. The clash has not only added to the tension in the region, but also sparked wider debates about the priorities of Nigerian security forces and the government's handling of different threats across the country. In many discussions following the incident, there is a strong sentiment among some critics who argue that the focus of the security forces seems disproportionately fixed on confronting the Biafran Liberation Army rather than addressing other pressing issues. One major point of contention is the perceived inattention towards the activities of armed Fulani herdsmen. These herdsmen have been linked to a series of violent attacks and the destruction of farmlands, particularly in areas such as Uromi in Edo State. The recent violence in Uromi has not only stirred fear among the local communities, but has also led to instances where residents have taken justice into their own hands. This response, though controversial, underscores the deep-seated frustration that many Nigerians feel due to what they see as an ineffective and biased security strategy. Local farmers in Uromi are grieving over the loss of their crops and livelihoods. Their fields, which are crucial for both economic stability and food security, have been ravaged by attacks attributed to Fulani herdsmen. The absence of adequate governmental intervention has left these communities feeling isolated and abandoned. As the violence intensifies, many are beginning to see the conflict between local residents and Fulani groups as more than just isolated incidents of banditry. There is a growing perception that these clashes are on the brink of evolving into a broader religious and ethnic confrontation that could further destabilize Nigeria. At the heart of these events is the complex narrative of the Biafran struggle. The Biafran Liberation Army has, over recent times, reasserted its determination to pursue a movement for independence, a goal that was dramatically highlighted on November 29, 2024, when the redeclaration of Biafra took place. This redeclaration has become a rallying point for those who support the Biafran cause, even as the Nigerian government appears to be deploying resources to undermine this movement. Critics argue that the government is not merely focused on preserving national unity, but is actively engaging in strategies that include paying individuals to disrupt the Biafran movement through propaganda and violence. In this context, the clash in Uli is seen by some as part of a larger pattern of politically motivated violence, where the government's actions are questioned in terms of fairness and consistency. The narrative emerging from these events is fraught with frustration and anger. The local populations in regions like Uromi, who have long been victimized by attacks on their farmlands, are increasingly vocal in their criticism of what they perceive as governmental neglect. This neglect has pushed many to resort to extrajudicial measures, leading to what some describe as mob justice. Although the practice of mob justice is widely condemned for its potential to harm innocent individuals, the desperation of the local communities is palpable. These communities argue that if the government were to take the same aggressive stance against armed banditry as it does with the activities of the Biafran Liberation Army, there might be a significant reduction in the loss of life and property. The situation in Uromi, with its backdrop of farm destruction and economic instability, starkly illustrates the challenges that arise when security strategies fail to address the full spectrum of threats facing the country. A critical element of the current crisis is the broader political landscape, which many believe has been deeply influenced by the actions of President Bola Tinubu's administration. There are widespread accusations that this government has not only allowed, but at times even facilitated a culture of violence and lawlessness by focusing its efforts on suppressing dissenting voices, particularly those linked to the Biafran movement, while ignoring or downplaying other forms of criminality. For example, the targeting of the Biafran Liberation Army in Uli contrasts sharply with the lack of similar vigorous actions against the Fulani herdsmen, whose repeated attacks have had a devastating impact on local communities. Critics contend that the government's selective approach to security is driven by political motivations rather than a genuine concern for the welfare of all Nigerians. The clash in Uli, therefore, is more than just a localized incident. It is emblematic of a deeper crisis that affects the entire nation. The situation reflects a fractured security apparatus that seems to prioritize political interests over the protection of all citizens. The ensuing debate is not only about the legitimacy of the actions taken by the security operatives, but also about the broader implications for national unity and stability. Many in Nigeria are beginning to question whether the current administration is capable of addressing the diverse and complex challenges that the country faces. The selective use of force, the apparent disregard for the plight of farmers in Uromi, and the ongoing struggle of the Biafran Liberation Army collectively paint a picture of a nation at a crossroads. As the narrative unfolds, it becomes clear that there is a significant gap between the expectations of the citizens and the realities on the ground. The local populations, whether in the forests of Uli or the farmlands of Uromi, are left grappling with a sense of betrayal by a government that is perceived as favoring certain groups over others. This growing discontent is not simply about isolated incidents of violence, but is part of a larger narrative of political exclusion, economic hardship, and social fragmentation. The issues at hand are deeply intertwined with historical grievances, ethnic tensions, and the long-standing struggle for regional autonomy and independence. In many ways, the clash in Uli and the unrest in Uromi serve as a wake-up call for all stakeholders in Nigeria. They remind us that the challenges facing the country cannot be compartmentalized or addressed through selective enforcement of the law.
This is our family life. At our family, there plenty. There plenty now. They look main road now. We are on ground. We are on ground. Live. Army day, police day. And we and the army people.
Hello fans, welcome to Magnetic Jigs TV. Biafrans, this is happening in Uli. Uli is one of the biggest village or town we have in Anambra State. The Udogachi security operatives, aka Soludo boys, went into one of the villages in Uli. They claim that they are looking for Biafran Liberation Army to fight with them. Guys, this is very funny. Upon everything that is going on in this country, yet Igbos are still fighting themselves. Why can't these security personnel go into the bushes to look for Fulani herdsmen that are buying people anyhow, mostly especially in Enugu State? Why can't they form a very formidable security to fight the Fulani herdsmen? Why are all these security being formed in southeast part of Nigeria? Why are they only after the people that are agitating for Biafra? What has the Biafran Liberation Army done to them that they just went into that village in group with the army, the police? So many joint task forces followed them. They went into that place saying that they are looking for Biafran Liberation Army. I wish and I hope this is the way that they do swing into action once when it has to do with Fulani herdsmen killing people or destroying people's farmland. I think that would be a better way to solve so many things that are coming up in this country. Imagine what happened last time, few days ago, in Uromi, Edo State. Now you can see how the Fulani residents in Edo State are reacting, because according to them, they say that they must surely revenge.
You don't pass soldier, you don't pass police. This competition why there for this country. Why say you don't go strong?
And here they are bragging or even threatening that the security personnel, that is the vigilante that buy those northerners, that they are going to get them and deal with them. Guys, if care is not taken, this is going to go into a serious religious war in this country.
Inside the family, and the guiding now, I can't they put guiding, I not go fit. Life is a don't come. I bet make on help us. They will pursue the normal commot. Make nothing pursue now.
Ezoku. Look at Kemewa. Look at Kemewa. Origi carry. Okay. Like my own farm. They carry Nama enter inside my barn. He taught more than 80 tubers of yam. Then the whole cassava went inside, it destroyed all of them. So I don't know where to start from. So what me and my children will eat now, it will be a very hard thing now to me. That's my own.
Likewise my own too. For my farm, there is no single one cassava for inside again.
Well, one of the biggest problem of all these things is from the government. The government doesn't care. When Fulani herdsmen, we are buying them in their farmland. They are in Edo. Nobody is talking. They will cry. They will come out on social media. They will complain to the government. They will complain to the peoples that be. Nobody will react. Nobody will even say anything. Okay, now the people of Urumi has taken the justice by themselves. Now they have taken justice by their own hands, and everybody now is now out condemning them. Although from the stables of Magnetic Jigs TV, we condemn jungle justice. Yes, because through that jungle justice, you may buy an innocent person. That is why jungle justice is not the best solution. But people are fed up because the government that are supposed to take up all these security matters are not helping at all. They have left people to do what they want to do, and that is what leads to this buying of 16 Northerners.
Alright, so dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, today is your birthday, but I cannot wish you a happy birthday because you yourself don't wish your people well. Because if you wish your people well, you will understand that this whole herdsmen issue will slowly gain more strength, and very soon it might result to a religious war in Nigeria. Slowly, they don't burn some people now alive. They don't burn some people alive. Daily, almost every day, I don't raise awareness. I don't talk about this Fulani herdsmen issue more than 7 posts. I talk about the Enugu road.
Biafrans, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you ahead that tomorrow will be the 4th month of our redeclaration. And I want to tell you what Philip Effiong said. If you do not treat Biafrans in a civilized manner and in a very friendly manner, our children will rise up to continue to fight you. And that is what has happened. So on the 29th of November, the game changer was that redeclaration by Dr. Madam Ngozi Orabweze. The Nigerian terrorist government has paid the people that they paid to discuttle and to come there to cause chaos on the 2nd day of December. But there was a decoy because our Prime Minister said Biafra redeclaration may happen. Biafra recognition or redeclaration may happen before the 2nd of December. So they have planned what is going to happen because the Nigerian terrorist government has paid the people who are on social media now doing fighting our DPM, doing back and forth, trying to drag us back. So they have already been paid, which we know. And to my greatest surprise, on the 2nd day of that December, do you know that the Finland police came into that arena? Because they had already planned what would happen. But because there was no destruction, because there was no quarrels or misunderstanding with anybody, they had to.
So guys, if you watch this video to the end of it, you will understand exactly what is going on. Our brother here, Stephen Cross, believe firmly well that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. Mazi Ekpa also is going to be released soon, and that Nigeria must surely divide in order for Biafrans to go, because the president of Nigeria is not doing what he ought to do in order to protect the citizens or in order to better the life of Nigerians. So guys, thank you all for watching this video. Remember to subscribe with us, Magnetic Jigs TV, for we remain the best.
Continue to pretend that nothing has happened. You know, I came here to tell you about the 60 days countdown. It's going to happen in a very mysterious way. Tinubu is a ruthless man, a ruthless politician, and we have all seen that. Now, I want to ask Nigerians, What have you benefited from this government? What have you gained from this government, if not hunger, killings, violence, and overthrow of government? This is what Tinubu is known for. The same Tinubu that went to fight Niger when Niger had their coup, wanted to, attempted to, and he was warned not to come and fight, because if they do, or if he does, Nigeria will never remain the same. Is now the same man who went to River State to overthrow the government there. Or do you people not know that what Tinubu did in River State was an overthrow of government? What constitutional rights gave him the power to remove a sitting governor? Tinubu has no power to sack a sitting governor, despite the fact I don't even like the governor himself, because he's too quiet and he's, you know, he came through the back door. All of them came through. That's why they cannot stand to defend their mandates, according to them. But we, Biafrans, we will stand and fight for this our mandate that we've gotten on the 29th of November 2024. We will stand and defend it. Everybody today is turning a deaf ear, a blind eye to that redeclaration. But the consciousness, we will make them to know that something happened on that date. And that is why we are here. That is why, since the removal of our Prime Minister, we've been here all through. And we're going to fight this fight to the end. Believe you me. So for those of my friend who is telling me I'm putting my life in danger, I want you to know that if people don't die for the cause that they're fighting for, they might probably not get it. So some things has to be destroyed and some has to be rebuilt. And our past heroes has done so. We are here to reinstate everything that they have said. The template has been laid down, and that is what we are following. And that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is doing. That is what Mazi Simon Ekpa has done. That is what Madam Ngozi Oreboweze has also done. As for me, I will never give up. Believe you me. Biafrans, the days ahead will be very interesting. The days ahead will be very, very interesting. Like I said, very interesting. I don't want to give you the gist. Very, very interesting. Always follow, share, and like. Days ahead will be fun. Believe you me. Nigerian government will see what they have never seen in their life. Thank you, Biafrans, and may God bless you all.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.